Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for February the 19th through the 25th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to connect in with our angels and our guides, God, the Holy Spirit, and all the host of heaven, and all those other enlightened and ascended beings that you work with in your daily life and through your meditations and your prayers. And just allow your everything that's on your mind to just sort of just let it go and allow yourself to be fully focused through your heart center. And just take some moments to breathe in through the heart chakra. And just embrace all of the changes that you've been witnessing. Um, they're giving me a sense of that you're starting to experience the sort of the power, or it's almost like they're showing me like the symbol that you're starting to see things become a little bit more concrete, so that the changes are becoming more pronounced, and that for some of you, you're starting to feel a little bit more abundant, or you're starting to see more opportunities or choices, or perhaps you are um, able to sort of see a light at the end of the tunnel. You feel like you have more air to breathe, more room to feel, to think, to be. You just feel like they're right now. You just feels like you can let go. And they're showing me the tree, and they're showing me, in particular, the trunk of the tree, but more so the area between the trunk going and at the upper part of the trunk going into the branches, almost like you would hold your arm up in that area in the underarm. So they're showing me this like area, that little curve, that corner, and so um, here is that space where the you're connecting to the branches. So it feels like you are have finally maybe a branch of possibilities or opportunities has opened itself up to you. You've made somebody's either you've reached out in some way, um, and you're getting something back from that connection that you've made. And they're asking you um, to hold the intention of prosperity through faith. So they want you to be faithful and hold this intention. They're showing me the angel number 28 in Doreen Virtue's Angel Numbers 101 book. And it says, let me get around some of the things I got here. Money comes to you as you keep the faith that you, your loved ones, and your beautiful life purpose are fully supported by heaven. Okay? Money comes to you as you keep the faith. So it feels like um, that you've made a connection. I don't know. I keep feeling like an arm, like somebody is giving you like an arm of support. Something is occurring for you where you're feeling like you're getting an arm is being extended to you, to support, of assistance to help you, and help pull you up. And this may be um, some kind of, maybe money, maybe financial, it may be um, support or time that someone offers to you to help you. But trust, have faith in um, this extended opportunity that's being given to you. Have faith in this and know that more will follow. It feels like the angels want you to know that to have faith that not only this shall come and this will pan out for you, but there will be more opportunities, more extensions, more people or opportunities extending themselves out to you to keep you supporting you on that branch. It feels like you're reaching this part and you're thinking, oh, it's like if you were climbing a tree and you got up on the branch and you realize, wow, you start thinking to yourself, can this branch really support me? I mean, I made it up here. And then you start to question whether or not the branch is strong enough to support you for everything you need for the journey that you are um, embarking upon. And so they're writing out the word pause in front of me, and it's like you pause for a moment. Don't take too long to do that, okay? Because if you pause and you think it, overthink it, you start overthinking it, and you'll start thinking about all the things that can go wrong, and you'll become really deeply afraid, and you'll want to get down. And then you may be so afraid that you can't get down, because then you realize that when you start looking around and that you're very high up and you don't know how to get down from there. So the thing is, trust that everything that got you there, trust in that. Okay, trust in that prosperity brought you up. They're writing out the word prosperity in front of me. And you have to trust the prosperity thus far that has helped you to reach that position. And you would not have gotten there. You wouldn't have gotten that far. You wouldn't have been able to climb up that tree if you weren't ready to walk on that branch, or if that branch wasn't ready to support you. So, in this spiritual sense, this branch is ready to support you. And they're writing out the word privilege. So, I'm wondering if you are having troubles accepting the privilege that you've been given. Sometimes when we see things as a privilege, and then we start to doubt ourselves and our worthiness to be of this privilege that is being granted to us. But you worked to get there, okay? So it's a privilege for you to stand in that moment and to be recognized and to feel the appreciation, to celebrate. That's the privilege, because this will expand what happens for you next if you can embrace it. So take that as your privilege to absorb it all in, and to celebrate within yourself, within your heart. Do a dance within your heart in order to keep activating the prosperity that is inevitable for all of us. The only thing that stands in the way of prosperity is our despair, our worries and concerns that we are not good enough for what it is that we've been praying for and asking for. We get what we pray for, and a lot of times if we don't see what we've prayed for, it's because we're scared of what we've prayed for. And the ego kind of casts shadows, almost like so that you veil the opportunity from your view. And what you see is all of the concerns and the problems and the things that could go wrong, and you start to notice every little. It's almost like when you're in a quiet room and all of a sudden you start to hear everything creak, and you just can't. Your mind won't rest, and you're in this peaceful environment, but you start to turn it, into something that is becomes adversarial to you, because now it's like those little creaks and stuff are annoying to you, and you can't enjoy it. So I really feel like they want you to really um, trust and believe, and to flip that around, to flip that script that the ego may try to present to you. Go for the appreciation of the privilege that you are receiving from someone or something. Okay? Let me just tune in and see what else is sort of unfolding in the messages for this week. Um, I'm sort of seeing, this is not Stonehenge itself, but it's sort of gives me a sense of Stonehenge. So there's a sense of a sacred opportunity here, and this could be a spiritual shift that some of you go through in this week, more internal in terms of your abundance consciousness. So there is a possibility for some of you that you will have a shift in abundance consciousness that will start to allow you to first have this experience of integrating your spirituality begins to be integrated into the world. So the thing is that we're spiritual beings, and we're having a human experience, and therefore our human experience has all the potential to be spiritual and physical, and delightfully, with pleasure. Let's put it that way. Okay, so it has the potential to be spiritual and human with pleasure. So the thing is that when it doesn't feel like your life is spiritual, like spirituality is separate from the human experience, is when the ego has sort of control on how you perceive things. It's kind of like it's caused you to hold back because you're afraid of being perceived in a certain way. So the ego splits, separates, and then that's why we can't see how our humanity and our spirituality are really always one. And when we see it split, we see our world through an experience of criticism, rather than appreciation, for example. So when you're seeing your world through appreciation, you're having that integrated human spiritual experience. But when you're seeing your world through criticism, you're seeing it through the ego, and it's almost like your spirit, the consciousness of your spirits and its abilities to evaluate and to perceive that perception is dimmed, dialed down, and the ego criticism and sort of separating and categorizing just sort of gets out of control. So that's where our fixations kind of are out of balance. And so the thing is that for some of you, you may find an integration where being spiritual doesn't mean that you're sitting around going but that it's that feeling of as if there's harmony everywhere. You are perceiving harmony everywhere. You are appreciating harmony in your work, in yourself, in your loved ones, in your enemies. You are perceiving the divine. You're perceiving the spirit, the integration of the spirit and the physical with pleasure. Okay, so really in this week, so this is a great form of abundance, because the thing about it is it's not about trying to get everything to be the way you want it to be on the outside. The outside is a reflection of the inside. So if you can flip and change, shift, flip the script from within, the outer has to reflect what you are being. You see, and so if this is the greater awareness of abundance and prosperity, because from here now your human experience is full of infinite possibilities that are all, and everywhere you're able to look is constantly unfolding, even with the bumps in the road, or the ebbing and flowing of the tides, or the ups and downs. In all of it you are constantly being guided with understanding, with an unconditional perspective that allows you to be with your human experience, and so like your human experience and your spiritual experience, they embrace, they embrace with pleasure. And so it's not to say that you're not gonna feel, oh, like sort of put out at times or irritated at times. No, you're gonna feel all these things. The thing is that an awareness is going to enlighten you and sort of draw that into a context in which that harmony can be acquired or or expressed through this. You see, so it's very interesting, sort of what's happening, or it feels like what's coming up for you in this week. So this is like one of those big picture moments when you sort of begin to see the bigger picture. I'm seeing wherein some people may be dealing with carrying I'm getting it this way, like physical weight, so that some of you may have a breakthrough in terms of your physical health and dealing with your weight. This is a vulnerable issue for some of you, and you struggle against it. And the thing is that we would ask you to not struggle with anything, because the attention you're giving, and the way that when you give attention to something through the perspective of your ego, which is criticism, it makes you struggle through something, and so that at first you ask to embrace the inner being, embrace who you are, and go within and be appreciative of all that you are, all that all of your, the love and the compassion. Start from a place of appreciation. Focus on that appreciation. I remember when I was dealing with weight issues, like in 2011, and I think I had gotten up to like 240 or 50 pounds. And the thing that started the journey for me is that I didn't focus on my weight. I focused on my spirit. So I started focusing on how I felt, and I knew I could change. I could I could change how I feel. It's not easy to change everything else that you perceive that's going wrong with you, or going wrong in your life, because it is the reason why it feels so horrible is because, or so difficult, is because it your mind is convinced that it is. So I started focusing on changing, or not just changing, but started focusing on how I want to feel. And so I thought about that how I wanted to feel, and I didn't choose. Um, exercise for the point of losing weight, I chose walking on the park, the Riverside Park, down the Hudson. I chose this because of the nature and how I knew it would make me feel being next to the water. The time of the day I was going to do it, I was going to get up early in the morning, like at 5 o'clock, and watch the sunrise and see the stars and try all this transition and see all these beautiful colors in the sky, listening to the bird. This was became my motivation because it would the peace that I would feel. So I focused on how I wanted to feel, like I wanted to feel a sense of peace, and the walking was just a consequence to allow me, or an opportunity to allow me to have this feeling, which I did every day until I started and finally got myself to go into a gym. I did it for a couple of years, and but that was by that point I was beyond that heavy criticism, of myself and my body. Not to say I don't have moments where I still, I mean, although I've lost a lot of weight, but I still go through these moments where, you're like criticizing your body, but that's just what we do. And the thing is that you have to focus on you have to focus on that. The soul, your spirit, responds, it's a language of appreciation and pleasure and joy. And so you have to find those things, experiences in the human experience. See, that's where we do this integration on our own. Find those things in your human experience that aligns you with that frequency that your spirit resonates with. And so for me, this was the walking in nature. I learned this appreciation from one of my teachers in college. She loved nature, and I found this appreciation through her because when I was a kid, I was always getting, itching when I played like roll in the grass, and I hated outdoors, and I didn't understand it because of the pesticides and things like that. So when I finally started spending some time at her home and where there was lots of nature, then I learned to appreciate nature and realized it wasn't, I didn't have a problem with nature. I began to see the beauty. But this is why whatever form of art, or the arts is so important, or things that allow us to connect with our spirit are really important. So start there. Flip the script of this self-criticism and self-loathing and bring it into alignment with your spirit through an activity that you would take pleasure in, that just also aligns with helping the body to start. Because see, the thing is, as I was walking, my body was starting to process what I was feeling into my cells. The cells were opening up and receiving this language, this light language, if you want, of a frequency and so I started to then, within a year or two, it started to really get the courage to go to the gym. And then the same process, I was going to the gym, I understood I was there to feel better, but I was on it. And you can't use the outer as the motivation. You have to find the inner connection for the motivation for the outer situation that you're working on. So this is one thing that's come up, but it's specific, but you can apply it to all things. You can apply it even with your work. You can apply this understanding to all things. You can complain about your work. Your ego will do that, okay, because it breaks things down. But your inner being finds something to appreciate in all things. I was just talking to a client yesterday, and one of the things that came up was the ability, the ultimate spiritual practice that we could all really, or one of them, but I feel like it's the ultimate in terms of helping us to really integrate, is to be able to see yourself in everyone else and everything. It's kind of like what Jesus was talking about with the two great commandments: to love thy neighbor, Lord thy God, with all thy mind, heart, and soul, and then to love thy neighbor as thyself. As he put the the second is like unto the first. So it's the thing is that what he was talking about is an alchemical um, um, operation, that if you can see yourself, that means if you can find, because you can, in a job that you hate right now, you can find the things that you love, because the things that you love, everything that you're looking for is already inside of you. What you're here to do is not to try to change everything outside of you. You're here to bring everything that's inside of you, all the gifts of the universe reside within you, all the codes, all the activations. You're here to bring that and bring it into the world that you are engaging with. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a spiritual being influencing your physical experience. You are a spiritual being influencing your physical experience. It's not the other way around. And those of us who live it from that flip side find ourselves enmeshed in a lot of drama, and personal misery. And I can't tell you something that I haven't experienced, so that's why I'm telling it to you. When I was working at my job, this I experienced. My last years, I flipped this script within myself and stopped waiting for everything to change outside, and did it with inside, and it was like it never happened. It was like, so it was like an awesome experience, and you can do this. So if you look for the qualities that you love and admire about yourself in someone else, and you can find them. If you can't, you're giving up. Because remember, there is nothing in the concept of oneness. You and I are all a part of God. So there is no separation. So there is, it's like the ocean and the wave. What's the difference? The body and the cells. What's the difference? I mean, I'm talking about are they separate? The cells hold all of the contents, the information, the blueprint of what the body is. And this is our relationship to God. So there's this thing that the angels have been saying this week. You can't hack your soul and God. God is unhackable, and your soul is unhackable. Why? Because it's a part of God. They're one and the same, and no one can get to that frequency where God lives unless they're willing to drop first the physical body and ill intention. So when people get worried about somebody's going to psychic attack and all this stuff, and I'll probably talk about this in a video separately from this, but just know that your soul is not hackable. Okay? Bottom line. And so the thing is that nothing in the world in your day-to-day life can hack you. Your boss can't hack your soul and make you miserable. He can't do that. You have to give him permission by giving him your attention. You see? So let's get to the cards because, whoa, time. So let's look at the card from the Archangel Oracle deck. And we have Archangel Ariel again. And this is about spreading your wings. And the card says, don't hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. So I feel like this is sort of what she was talking about with that nature scene with the tree. Don't hold back. Okay? You're ready. You are ready to fly. You have everything that you've done has put you in this place of privilege, to be open to this experience. So now go forth. Don't take any time to sort of, get in there and start overthinking things. Go with this. Trust. This is sort of when you open your arms and your wings in this way. This is about trusting. Okay? You can see she's, flying over a lake, or she's about to. And yeah, she could fall in that lake if this were you, right? Yeah, you could fall in that lake, or you could trust that the wind beneath your wings will lift you up and propel you forward and get you across that lake or to even some further distance that you might be traveling to. So don't be afraid of leaving the nest or moving beyond the boundaries that you've known or your comfort zone. So this is about stepping out of your comfort zone, and I feel like there's something that's kind of stretching your comfort zone, and you are eager about it, but you become stuck in details, and you start to overanalyze it, and it just sort of kills it for you. And so don't do that. Don't set yourself up. You know how things go. You know, our human aspect, we act as if our human is can outsmart us every time. We make such a big deal out of our ego, or whatever we classify in the same thing. Like some people talk about the devil. They give it so much power. But our human experience is not that clever. It's always predictable. It has patterns, and the thing is that we just don't look at them. We're not using that awareness of our spirit that would always be aware of a pattern, and that could easily show it to you in 5 seconds, and you could change, but we just get stuck in the fear and giving it too much power. So don't allow yourself to do that. Don't get overly focused on those details like that this is this is a pattern. Oops, sorry about that shaking. It's a pattern. Don't give in to it. You don't have to. One of the things that's going to start to happen for some of you who are starting to really transition in the ascension process, from the third dimensions into the fifth dimensions, and maybe some of you are in between, you're going to start to see outside of the framework of the third dimension. And when you get to the fifth dimension, not only you see the choices, but you'll start to recognize your choice, the choice that's best for you, without so much fear in it. So be when you notice that things are happening at the same time, like you're living two different choices, which is rare occurrence, because one feels really awful, one feels really great. Usually it's one or the other. That means you have a choice point. You're at a choice point, and you're being shown this because it makes it so plain and clear to you what you should drop and what you should pick up. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And I'll just put this right here. Spread your wings. Let's just keep that in mind. Look at that. The Dreamer card. Wow, I love this card. This came up in the daily card messages, and the message I love that came about this card is for those of us who are dreamers, we tend to always have wonderful, brilliant ideas, and we're constantly coming across them. And the Brilliant Ideas card came up from Archangel Ariel last week. And some of us never finish those things. We start a lot of things, but we never finish them. And the thing about it that came through, the simple message is that a dreamer is someone who inspires others to dream. And so that you don't always finish doesn't really matter. What matters is that you begin, because you are tapping in so easily. So easily to this vast potential of your inner being, right? You're constantly going in and out, and you're seeing all these dreams that are meant that you can fulfill. I'm not gonna say meant to, because all that's there is a gift. One of the things for all that's there is to remind you just how abundant you are, to remind you that you are divine, that you are infinite, that you are prosperity, abundance, unlimited, right? So don't beat yourself up because you happen to be the dreamer who the veil is very thin when it comes to seeing creative solutions and ideas and hope. You have access to hope. And so that you begin a lot of things just really means that what you are representing to the world in a very successful way is the unlimited potential that is there. That we don't have to accept the framework of the third dimension, feeling like we're trapped, limited in our choices, and having to stay stuck in misery. So you may be called upon, a good role for a dreamer is one where you are able to motivate others to dream. So whether it's in teaching or in spiritual healing work or working as a life coach, these kind of roles would probably be really good for you. But know that when you have a dream and that you begin it and you finish it, it doesn't mean that you failed at all the other ones, you see. It just means that this was a gift. We want you to understand that being a dreamer is a gift. Your people may look down on this type of person, but without this kind of person, the world, the rest of us, would not have access to our own dreams and our hopes. Okay, so very important for you to understand. So don't be afraid to have a dream. Don't worry about how the dream is going to play out. Just appreciate that you have one, that you're inspired, and that your vibration is high, and that you're uplifted and uplifting. Very important. All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Okay, and we have the Two of Fire, and this card was also, I think, came up in the daily card messages for last week. So this card talks about coming into your own. This is a partnership. It says partnerships or contracts. This card is about being focused on a vision. And if you look at the two gentlemen here, and you got a dragon, this gentleman, he's look like he's focused on that goal. Like he's got that goal, and he's got it fixed in his mind, and there's nothing that can rock him here. And the other one, he's looking at you, and he's not really you and I, and he's not really focused on anything except he's focused on engaging what's going on in the present right now. So he's not taking things. Well, I don't want to say he's not taking it seriously, but he's having fun. He's stepping along the way just to say hello. To appreciate that you and I are there and watching this process of in the Ace of Wands, an opportunity or a vision or an insight came, and now they caught it. They caught it. And the thing is that we have to, this is about balance. That in order for a vision or dream to really unfold, we have to have unwavering faith, angel number two, but we also have to enjoy and the process. And you see there's 3 dragon eggs that have yet to unfold. So it reminded me of the Game of Thrones, when those dragons became bigger. So you don't know what something's going to turn into. They seem like they were going to be threatening, but they're not. So don't be afraid of the unknown here. Is what's but notice that the baby dragon here is admiring the one who is in touch with the present moment. So you got to stay in touch with the present as well as hold that vision of the future and enjoy the process is what I get from this card for you in this week. So this could mean that again, that someone partners with you, or you feel a sense of, wow, look at all these cards. I feel a sense of support, and as I'm about to say that 10 of water, where you feel supported, you feel inner contentment. So the thing is that the energy in this week is going to be where about this integration, things coming together and bringing you to this new place of feeling blessed and just appreciating the opportunities that are coming to you. It says trustworthy relationships. And so you're gonna feel. I feel like this is all going to be about you internally, the way you feel about yourself and your dreams, and that you're going to give yourself a break and not be so critical of yourself. Okay, let's take a look at the card. Now, this is interesting, this card, because it kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into this beautiful, otherwise beautiful reading, but let's keep an open mind. And so, this is the card that's kind of the foundation, what's going on underneath everything. And so, I'm getting a sense that um, that you've what's kind of pushing through or pushing all of this up is that you're ready to let go of this all this the inner critic. This is a week where this inner critic is going to heal, um, and or and where you're going to learn to forgive yourself in this week. So I feel like this card is about forgiveness, like letting go of the grief that you've been given, maybe for being a dreamer by others, or the grief you've given yourself. Remember, people don't really criticize you. They criticize what you see in yourself. It's never personal. It really isn't. When people attack us, it's something that we hold in ourselves, and we've taken it personally, and then we hold it there, and it becomes a part of our vibration. And the thing is that you're going to learn to let that go and really be free of anything like this, the necessity of these types of things being held within yourself. Let me just take a quick look, because I know we're kind of getting close to time when this video will run out if I keep going. But so I'm just seeing sort of a car, sort of an old car, and someone standing by a tree on a road while the car is passing by. And I feel like it feels almost like a funeral, and but this person, the thing is that, but it's symbolically, and then it's a phallic symbol emerges from the roof of the car. So it's like this sadness, this it's sort of like a death card experience, like a transformation, and they just put a heart, a little tiny heart. There's going to be a transition in your heart, and you'll be an observer of your former drama. And somebody's writing the word they're writing out "I love you," and I feel like that there's someone that you love, that you're finally going to forgive, or have some clarity around forgiveness of this situation. But the thing is that you're gonna watch it and let it just go by. You're not gonna hold on to it anymore. You're gonna send it off. It's like it's like having a funeral for this thing that you've been holding on to, that's been holding you back. And for the first time, you see yourself separate from it, not a part of the drama. What's going to materialize, okay? When I see a phallic symbol, it means manifestation for me, the male energy and manifestation. Action is it's gonna take place. Literally, it's gonna happen. Okay, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and thank you for joining us here. Thank you for your likes and your subscriptions. Continue to and for sharing. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com on the services page, which you can find in the description link below. The link for Facebook is below for the daily card messages, if you haven't been there yet, because we go into a little bit more depth, and so it's worth your while to go there. So have a great week, everybody, and God bless you all.